Which three Broncos players will start training camp on the physically unable to perform list? We've got the three names for you. Welcome into your Denver Sports Daily for July 22nd. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel Vigil.
The Denver Broncos placed three players on the physically unable to perform list in advance of training camp on Sunday, and none of them were a surprise, thank goodness. Landing on the PUP list were linebacker Drew Sanders, safety Caden Stearns, and safety Darrell Turner-Yell. None of the three players took part in on-field OTAs or minicamp. Sanders is expected to be out until midseason after tearing his Achilles during an April workout. Stearns missed the final 16 games of last season due to a torn patellar tendon suffered in week 1, and Turner-Yell suffered a torn anterior cruciated ligament in week 17 last year, and the relatively late date of that injury in the season could keep him sidelined well into the regular season. Two names dealing with injuries who did not land on the PUP list, though, were tight end Greg Dulcich and running back Audric Estime. Dulcich did not see action in OTAs due to a foot injury that he suffered in December, but weirdly, when he hasn't, he been hurt. And then Estime underwent a knee procedure. He got that PRP injection and was expected to be ready in time for training camp, according to Sean Payton. So, overall, three players on the PUP list. Obviously, you never want to see anybody with injuries, but the fact that we already knew about all of these guys, good news. Greg Dulcich being ready to go possibly. Okay, I'll be ready for it. I'm excited to see where he's going to land this year, how he's going to look out in training camp, how he's going to compare with Lucas Kroll. I think it's going to be really interesting. And then Audric Estime, too. I'm excited to see what he's bringing. Obviously, a rookie coming out of the draft. So it should be really, really interesting because training camp gets rolling this week. You guys, I cannot believe it. It is finally here. Tomorrow, we have the media barbecue. Training camp actually begins on Wednesday, open to the media. And then on Friday and Saturday, it is back together weekend, which the fans will be invited to. So it's here, everybody. Football is here. I always call it back to school. School is back in session. Let's go. We'll move on now because of a CSU Ram, as I love to say it, or a two-time Super Bowl champion. Shaquil Barrett is calling it a career. The 31-year-old linebacker announced his retirement in a statement posted over the weekend saying, "I'm ready to shift my full focus to my wife and kids and help them realize their dreams and catch them." Barrett won Super Bowls with the Broncos and the Bucs and led the NFL with 19 and a half sacks in 2019. He signed a one-year deal with the Dolphins this offseason. Obviously, we wish Shaq Barrett so much success in life, and I'm excited for him to hang out with his kids and his wife and his family and everything. His time spent with the Broncos will obviously be remembered and embarked in history, obviously with the Super Bowl. So excited for him. I was really sad when the Broncos obviously let him go, but it's exciting for him to be able to look ahead to something new and not have to be in shape for football. I feel like that is definitely a win all in its own. But what else is happening around the NFL? Let's get into it. Cam Akers is now with the Houston Texans. The former Florida State running back worked out for the team yesterday before signing the deal. Terms were not disclosed on that. You have defensive lineman Kenny Clark and the Packers that have agreed to a 3-year extension. Clark was entering the last year of a 4-year extension he signed with Green Bay in 2020. The deal is worth $64 million, with Clark receiving $29 million in 2024. A nice pay grade right there. The New York Giants are returning to training camp in East Rutherford, and on Tuesday, their final practice will be scheduled for Wednesday. Expectations are that quarterback Daniel Jones, who is returning from a torn ACL, will avoid the physically unable to perform list and open camp with no restrictions, which is really good news. And then we've got Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. He was sick. So the Ravens announced yesterday that Jackson was sent home from training camp with an illness. With Jackson out, Josh Johnson is running the Ravens' first string offense today. The nature of the illness has not yet been revealed, and the Ravens have not said whether he is expected to miss any more time beyond yesterday. Sources claiming CeeDee Lamb hasn't decided whether he will hold out of training camp or not. Lamb has been in contract holdouts that's lasted the entire offseason, and according to a person with knowledge of the front office, the Cowboys are putting Lamb's contract extension talks ahead of quarterback Dak Prescott. So plenty going on in the NFL as well. Also just saw Joe Burrow is ready to go for training camp. Nothing holding him back there. To the MLB we go. Let's hit it. Woo, woo. So the Rockies, obviously, they picked a number 3 in the MLB draft this year, and they chose Charlie Codon, who will be the focal point of the long-term building plans of the Colorado Rockies. And on Friday, the team showed just how prominent of a foundational piece they believe him to be. The Rockies gave him $9.25 million signing bonus, and it's the biggest draft bonus in MLB history, as you can see right there. That figure is the same as the one given by the Cincinnati Reds to the player taken on a spot earlier, which is pitcher Chase Burns. Both of these bonuses are larger than the $8.95 million bonus given by the Cleveland Guardians to the number 1 overall pick, which was Travis Banza. So yeah, the Rockies giving out some pretty hefty money right there. And hopefully we're going to see this guy put on earlier rather than later. Expect him to start in the minors, work his way up to the majors, but hopefully he's going to be hitting some home runs in Coors Field before we know it. Sticking with the Rockies, though, it took Todd Helton 6 cycles before he finally cleared the 70% threshold to earn induction into the Hall of Fame. Helton became the second player inducted into the Hall of Fame with a Rockies logo on his back. Walker was the first. And the Rockies organization has given me so many friends, Helton went on to say, but it took time to recognize 4 people in particular. And that was founding owner Jerry McMorris, current owner Dick Montfort, manager Clint Hurdle, and longtime trainer Keith Duggar, and the 411 teammates on the Rockies. He also thanked all of the fans as well. And longtime Rockies fielder Larry Walker, himself a Hall of Famer, was inducted in part of the 2020 class, presented Helton for induction with a pre-recorded speech, played with highlights from Helton's career. Can we throw actually the plaque up real quick? Because I do think it's interesting. I never think the plaques actually look like the people, so please let me know what you guys think. Really cool one way or another. And again, Larry Walker went on to say, Todd Helton is the face of the Colorado Rockies. He's the greatest player who ever played there, and he'll probably be the greatest player who ever plays there. Really, really cool just to see it from 1997, obviously, to 2013 is when Todd Helton played here. I feel like he's got such a special memory in so many of our hearts. And so we're so excited for him to finally have hit that moment in his career. Very well earned. And I know a lot of people were obviously very stoked about that as well. So just really, really cool. But to the NHL we go. Let's hit it. Let's go. Everybody's been waiting to see what's going to happen with Mikko Rantanen, and a new deal for Rantanen is close, according to Jesse Montano of Guerrilla Sports. Avalanche GM Chris McFarland declined to comment on the extension talks during a recent Zoom call with the media, but that's not really uncommon for executives to do in this situation. Rantanen signed a 6-year, $55 million deal with the Avalanche before the 2019 season, which, if I'm going to be honest, it feels like literally yesterday we saw this extension come through. And yes, it is almost up, and that means it's time for a new contract to get inked. Rantanen is due to make $9.25 million in the 2024-2025 season. So the common thought is that his next deal will be worth more than $10 million today. Jesse goes on to say that it is going to probably be a 7 or 8 year deal, ensuring that Rantanen pretty much finishes his career in Colorado, which how cool would that be? Mikko Rantanen, Nathan MacKinnon, and Cale Makar all finished their careers here with the Colorado Avalanche. That would be awesome. Mikko is currently 27 years old and will be 28 in October. So I think that it would just be really awesome to be able to see that last. And obviously, he's such a crucial part of what the Avs have been doing, and we would love to see him stay in an Avalanche sweater for as long as possible. All right, last one for us here on this Monday. We're talking about the Olympics because 4-time NBA champion LeBron James will be Team USA's male flag bearer at the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics in on July 26th. The 2-time Olympic gold medalist will be participating in his 4th basketball tournament at the Olympics. He says it's an incredible honor to represent the United States on this global stage, especially in a moment that we can bring the whole world together. Sports have the power to bring us all together, and I'm proud to be part of this important moment. Really cool for LeBron James, and his female counterpart will be announced on Tuesday. So excited for that. I feel like for so many years, it was always Michael Phelps who got that honor. I'm trying to think back on if I remember anybody else carrying it. Michael Phelps was obviously a big one when he was out there doing it. So for it to be passed down to LeBron James is definitely really, really cool and very well deserved, as he's now been in 4 Olympics, which is pretty dang crazy. Let's check out the comments. Let's see. Sharon, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Morning, Rachel. Love Monday mornings with you. Only 20 days left for the first preseason game. Go Broncos. I cannot believe that it starts this week. I feel like summer has flown by. I remember talking to my sister on the phone, and I was like, I have so much time now that when the Avs and Nuggets both got bounced. Don't get me wrong. I was heartbroken. I didn't expect it. But I was like, I have so much time before training camp is going to start. Here we are. Media barbecue tomorrow. Training camp starts on Wednesday. Fans in the building on Friday. I'm like, it's here. Time. It's going to fly by. The next month is going to absolutely fly by. We've got preseason games so dang close. It's going to be so much fun. So, but thank you for spending your Monday morning with me. Again, we're here every single day, 10 a.m. Come hang out with us on the weekdays. Let's go Broncos. Let's go Broncos. All three have been a disaster. Wish we had those 3 draft picks back. Okay, I get it. Injuries happen, though, so we can't really give him that much. I'm excited to see, hopefully, Caden Stearns return to the lineup at some point. Drew Sanders, I feel like we had such high expectations for him, and he was delivering. Hopefully, he's able to bounce back from injury. Now, the one thing that we have to unfortunately remember, everybody, is it's really a 2-year process once they return onto the field. We've seen that with Courtland Sutton. We are going to see it with Javonte Williams. Year 2 is really when we finally see what those players are able to do post-injury. So hopefully, not this season, but following season, next season, we'll be able to see what they can really bring to help out this team. So I wouldn't say disaster or bust, but I understand the frustration when it's like, oh, I just want to have those guys back. So I get that. Let's see. I'm ready for some football. Oh my goodness, me too. I cannot believe it is here. Do you think Courtland Sutton will be at training camp? I believe Courtland Sutton will be at training camp. He was at Camp Stidham, which you guys all heard me talk about. Jared Stidham held practices down at their at his house near TCU, and a bunch of the offensive players were down there. I do believe that Courtland Sutton will be at training camp come Tuesday. I really do believe that he wants to be a part of this Denver Broncos team, and he's in a different position than a lot of other players who are fighting for contract extensions. Because this is no offense to Courtland Sutton, but I don't know how many other teams would look at Courtland Sutton and be like, I want him 100%. So I think he knows that he has to play a big role on this Denver Broncos team. He needs to be a leader, and he's really got to go out there and prove himself to be able to get that contract extension and the money that he wants to be paid. And I think he does understand that. I think that he was getting some not great advice from probably his agent, and essentially, hopefully that changes and he does just show up and he has an amazing season and he gets all the money that he wants, but he's got to do that. But any other questions you guys have for training camp? I can't believe it. It's Marilat Monday. James will be joining me on coffee break. He's been gone out of town for the past couple of weeks, so I'm excited to see him and have him get back out there. But, also, you guys, we have to talk about this. The Colorado Rapids winning the Rocky Mountain Cup 3-2 against Real Salt Lake. Hell yeah, let's go Rapids. So fun. I saw all the videos. It was so cool to be able to see. I can't believe that I forgot that. It just popped into my memory right now. It's a Monday morning, so don't blame me. But yes, that's awesome. I'm so happy for them over there at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. Plenty of good stuff. Last comment we'll get to. I think he will get paid eventually. I believe Courtland Sutton will, in fact, get paid, but he's got to have – how's the wedding planning? We can get to that in a second. But I do think that he has to prove himself this year. He has to be a 1,000-yard receiver. Otherwise, it makes no sense with how stacked the Broncos wide receiver room is, and stacked not in the way of like, oh my gosh, there's so much, but like there's so much talent that is equally the same that you don't have to pay as much for if you don't want to keep Courtland Sutton. So that's why I say it's stacked. Like they are all pretty much dang equal, it feels like. So yeah, I think he will get paid, but he's definitely got to prove himself this year. Just because I did show this comment. How's wedding planning going? It's going. It's kind of almost crunch time here in just a little bit. It's going to go so fast. So trying to enjoy all of the moments that we have here planning it, but also getting ready for football and just, it's wedding season and it's football season. So my life is pretty crazy. I was telling Trey, our producer behind the scenes, I'm like, football season is working 7 days a week for me because not only do we have the Broncos on game days, I'm also here every single weekday during the studio. And then we've also got CU and CSU obviously on Saturdays. So college ball, there's plenty going on. So yes, it's just a very busy time in life right now for sure, but exciting stuff for sure as well. So that is going to do it though for our Monday edition of your Denver Sports Daily. I appreciate you guys so much for spending just a little bit of time with me. And we will see you guys at 12 p.m. for coffee break. James Marilat Monday, like I said. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow right back here, 10 a.m. for another episode of Denver Sports Daily. Bye, everybody.